We are going to bring on our first caller, Lewis. Lewis calling out of New York, I believe. Lewis, is it Lewis or?
Yes. Hey, how's it going?
Hey, good, man. How are you?
All right. All right.
Lewis, I love it, man. You're in a car, classic real estate agent.
Yes.
It's fantastic,
always on the go.
man.
Always on the go.
You have to be, man. What's your question? What can we help you with, Lewis?
Well, the area that I'm in is I would say Rosedale, Queens / Nassau area, like Valley Stream. That's like the border, and I do have a large connection when it comes to the community. However, I do get people that come to me and they just try to get information, and for people who are kind of like not aware of the process, and they're not quite serious. They're ready to either buy or sell, and they want to get all this information, and then I don't hear from them. And then ones who are thinking of buying, they're just not serious. It's like, of course, I ask questions to see if they are serious, and I can tell when they're serious or not. And I get a lot more people coming to me. Actually, I get calls, but they're not actually moving forward in order to say, all right, let's ready to buy or is this ready to sell? And
so you're looking for more qualified people, or how do you take the leads that are currently engaging with you and making them qualified? Couple clarifying questions for us. How long have you been a real estate agent? And then what did your 2025 look like in terms of volume?
Fairly new. I would say probably like 4 or 5 years now. But I've been in real estate for about over 10 years. But as an agent, about 4 to 5 years. Yeah.
Okay, 4 to 5 years. And what was your volume in 2025?
Not too great. I would say maybe about 5, roughly.
Okay, so just around 5 million. And where did the majority of that volume come from?
Well, I'm sorry. When you said 5 million, I'm not sure when you said 5 million.
Sorry, when I say volume, for clarification, sorry, I should have clarified that for you. I was just looking for what was the volume number of the homes you sold? Like how much?
Oh, no. I was just going by listings.
Okay, so you did 5 listings. What was that? What did that volume look like? Was it $1 million, $2 million? What did that look like?
I would say I would, yeah, you know what? You're right. Yeah, I would say a little bit over roughly between 2 to 3. Yeah, roughly around that. Yeah, because they were selling at 5. Yeah. Some were selling 600 chains, some were selling 500 chains.
Okay.
Yeah, so
a majority, where did you get those from? Was it referrals? Was it these leads that you're talking about, and the ones that were actually qualified? Where did you get those from?
I would say referrals from the community of people, me knowing people in the area, and the treatment that I would give them instantly referred, and I got a phone call,
Fantastic. Okay, awesome. So 2 things that I can throw it to you, Cody and Steven, to give you guys his thoughts. We do a lot of lead generation through Facebook, and they tend to be top of funnel leads, which are, what would you call that? Like not even aware phase, top of funnel, Josh? Like we're interrupting them and kind of making them aware of a desire and a pain point. So they're interested, but they're not really that interested yet. And our normal Facebook lead takes about 10.8 months to close. And so it's a lot of nurturing. The 2 tips I would give you right away, though, and this applies to everybody listening, but to you, Lewis, as well, is you got to know your numbers, right? So you got to know exactly where your deal is coming from, how much volume you've done, how many listings you've done. It shouldn't be something hesitant. You're very hesitant when you're answering those questions, and I totally get it. We've all been there. But my challenge to you, man, is you want to be a professional, right? You're not just a salesperson. You're a sales professional. Professionals show up. They know their numbers. They know the game. So you got to get there. That's going to help you tremendously because it plays into what I want to say next, which is you need to get in your expectation that almost all leads in real estate is a long nurture cycle. So where you got to get really good is taking leads that are top of funnel and in the awareness phase and staying with them over long periods of time, 12 months, 18 months, 24 months, and just never stop following up with them, because 12 months from now, the looky-loos today will be real, right? Or 18 months, they'll be real. And you'll be so thankful that you stayed with it in the amount of drips you were doing to them every month, what the amount of phone calls you made to them. And here's the key point of all of this is, if you just treat it as like, they're just not real and they're not ready to buy, and you're looking for the buyer, you're looking for the seller, you're never going to get the buyer and seller except the like random lottery winning that happens. And so if you want to take it from 5 transactions to 25 transactions, all those leads that you've gotten so far that have been looky-loos, they're semi-interested, they need to go into a nurture stream, and you need to stay consistent with them, which gets to my point of that's why you got to know your numbers, know your touches. I'm going to throw it to you, Stephen and Cody, to give, kind of your thoughts on how you guys qualify leads.
Luke, that was perfect. We always say career focused, not year focused, and that's exactly right. That was beautiful.
Yeah, and I think one of the things you need to hear, Lewis, is just like, this is kind of hard, but it's like, welcome to the world of real estate. And the reason I say it like that is because what Luke said, which is every single buyer and seller is a timeline. But the cool thing about it, the encouragement is you actually want the people at the beginning of the funnel. You don't want the people at the end of the funnel. It's not that you don't want them, but if you get people at the top of the funnel, you get to build trust with those people. And then when they do transact with you, it's a much easier transaction because you've already had an amount of time that's actually built a relationship with them. Ryan Serhant on his podcast the other day I was listening to, he said, the single thing that has made me in this industry is my relentless follow-up. He said it's a single thing, and he gave an example of a guy who'd been following up with like 6 years and ended up transacting with him. He would send him stuff every single month. And so if you can change your belief around welcome to the world of real estate, this is what it is, you can know that this is what it is. That's a good thing, right? So then you just have to change the game of what does your follow-up look like with these leads to build that trust with them? Because what I always tell my agents is I actually, when people ghost me after an appointment, I actually know they're more serious. And the reason I know they're more serious is because it's psychological, right? If someone follows up with me and I do want to transact, but I'm not quite ready, what's the number one thing I do? I'm not taking their phone call. Because I know if Luke gets on the phone with me and he's a good salesperson and I'm kind of ready to transact, but I'm not positive, I'm going to be sold, right? And so I'm just going to ghost him during that time until I'm ready. But the key is if you keep following up, that person, when they've made the decision, you're going to be their first call. And so that's what I just
let's talk tactics. So we can take it from that's the foundation, Lewis, of like belief system that you need and the relentless follow-up. So big takeaway is when you get off this phone call, all the leads you've ever had, go ask yourself, what am I dripping on them every single month and how often am I calling them? And then tactically, guys, how long does it take you on average to close Google or Facebook that you're seeing right now? So they generate leads off of pay-per-click Google. They generate leads off of Facebook. Google's a little lower intent, maybe middle of funnel to bottom of funnel, but still takes a while. What's the average timeline you guys are seeing right now for 2025?
Yeah, I would say easily 6 months to a year.
Yeah.
Easily.
Okay.
I mean,
so if you're 6 months to a year, and sorry, it's maybe breaking up a little bit on my side, so sorry about that, guys. But if you're 6 months to a year, then Lewis, it comes down to, okay, what's the follow-up to the leads that you're doing? Steve, Cody, can you guys walk through the follow-up that you're doing on a lead that you'll get off of Facebook or that you'll get off of Google? What does it look like in terms of how many phone calls or what you're trying to do to them?
Yeah, what I was going to mention through this is, Lewis, when you take that call, what's your objective on that call?
I guess I would say I'm sorry. More of building a trust. Because going by my experience, that's how people are actually speaking to me. And they actually see that I'm relating to them, especially as around the community, around the area. And I know the area very well. So they're open to even tell me everything about them with a couple words.
I love that.
And once I see that, then they're open to say, all right, you know what, maybe I could try you. Maybe I could hire you. All right, you know what, let me put my house on the listing, put it out on the market.
Yeah.
And that's really my objective.
Sweet.
I just want to be real because that's how I am, Because if you treat the person the way you want to be treated, you know, if I can't trust you, I can't do business with you. You know, so
Right.
Yeah. Well said.
and that's
Yeah.
how that's how I see it. You know?
The thing you need to know, and that's absolutely correct, you have to have that trust. But the truth is it's more than trust. People are coming to you for a certain thing that they truly want. And the problem with people, I mean, this is the problem with sales in general, is people don't just tell you what they want, right? You've got to pull that information out of them. And so you have to, that's why we always go for the appointment. If you're doing phone conversations and giving people information, it never works, right? They will ghost you, and then they, won't come back to you unless you have even more relentless follow-up. You have to set the appointment, because what we're truly after, we want to build a trust, but we want that trust to be based on what we can execute on. And what we're trying to execute on is what is their motivation. And so deep down, you're actually just literally trying to pull out of them what's their true motivator, not a fluff motivator. It's like, I have to move because I've got 3 kids and I'm living in a 2-bedroom house. At this point, that's a true motivator. And if you can get to that, then you can drive, then you can go, this is how we can execute on it. And that's when their excitement level goes up to solving their motivator, because they see you as a person of trust, right, that can actually execute on it. So number one thing, you have to set up the appointment, because you have to have the motivator, because how are you going to follow up? If someone is 12 months out,
Right.
You don't want to be trying to send them properties every single day, because they're 12 months out. They're like, dude, why are you sending me this property? I'm not actually interested at the moment. I'm interested in getting, what's it going to cost me to make this move? When is my lease up? When do I need to start looking, right? That kind of thing. And so it's all about that appointment, because the follow-up is all based on their motivator.
Yeah. So how I simplify it, Lewis, you're right. You had one of the 3 key objectives on a first-time call, which is relationship, rapport building. Like, you're right on point with that. The other 2 I add, and Steven hit it right on, is motivation and appointment. So I don't care what questions you ask. I tell my agents all the time, we have an intro that is a really good intro that you have to stick to. But outside of that, the questions you're asking, I don't care. The main thing you're looking for is motivation. And when I ask for a 3-bedroom, I'm really asking because I need to know if you've got family, other people living with you to connect with you. But I need to know motivation, relationship, and then I'm going to meet them. Because and it's not even going to, what I didn't say in that is I'm going, this call is about getting a listing. I actually am just going for an appointment, because then we can game plan from there and see if that's the right decision for you. And if you take that, the pressure of this is going to be a listing, and instead just say I'm going for an appointment, it will give you the freedom to do that instead of the pressure of they have to sell their house with me. Hey, no, I'm actually just want to get a game plan together with you to see if it even makes sense for you to sell. Because to be honest with you, you might not want to, but if you do, we'll make a great game plan and make sure you do it.
Yeah, that was our story. Myself over the head, for the first couple of years in the business, just going after what I thought my value proposition was, getting them a deal. And some people don't want a deal, right? That's not what they're interested in. So you just beat yourself over the head if you don't go for the motivator and find out what they're truly interested in.
Yeah. Well said, guys. So Lewis, man, hope that helps you out. To summarize for you, man, get off this call, know your numbers inside and out, set a follow-up plan. On average, it takes 36 calls for us to close a Facebook lead, just so you know. So, keep calling, keep smiling and dialing, get the appointments. That's really going to help you, man. Appreciate you coming on the show, and let's connect on Instagram and stuff like that, because we can always talk through that as well.
Thanks, Lewis.
Thanks, Lewis.
Good luck, Lewis.
All right.
Good luck.
Bye, everyone.
See ya.